Hi, this is Seema. Thanks for clicking in because today you have tuned to a very interesting lesson. Well, a student of mine had a major problem with understanding the difference between two words, which are while and when. And therefore, I have made this lesson today because I know that a lot of you who are learning English face a very similar challenge. So don't worry, today I'm going to help you understand when you are going to use these words, whether you can use both these words in a same sentence or whether there is a difference between the two. So stay tuned and you will get to know what the difference is.
Subscribe and press the bell icon to receive notifications. Don't miss any new lessons.
Now, the major difference, or let's say these two words are used when you are talking about two actions that happen at the same time. So instead of talking about the difference, the one similarity between these two words is that they are both used for actions, two actions happening at the same time. So why are they different? Well, I have tried to, make a table to show you the difference between the two. Now, let's deal with the one word, which is while. You will use while in a sentence when you have two continuous actions happening at that time, at the exact same time. So when I talk about two continuous actions, I'm talking about the present continuous tense. So let's look at a sentence that will have two continuous actions with the word while. Okay, so I am teaching. Okay, so I'm teaching. We are in an action that has not yet gotten over. It's still happening, so it's continuous. So I am teaching while my brother is playing. He is still playing. He's out there playing football or whatever it is that he wants to play. He's not finished doing it. So I am teaching a continuous action, which will be followed by the word while. My brother is playing, another continuous action. Okay, so always remember that when you have two continuous actions, whether it is in the present or the past, you will always use the word while. But what about the word when? Now here's the difference. When you are using the word when, you are going to have two actions happening at the same time, but the difference is that they are going to be two single actions, not continuous actions, but two single actions. Let's look at the sentence. The sentence says, he called me when I got home. Okay, so two actions have already happened. They're two single actions. So he called me, okay, on the phone, and I got home. I just entered my house. Okay, now in some cases, one of these actions could follow straight after the other. So maybe he called me first and then I just stepped home. Okay, so either you have two single actions or you have one action followed straight after the other one. Okay, so when you have two single actions like that, you will use the word when because the sentence says, he called me when I got home. Okay, this is one instance where you will use the word when, but when can also be used at other times. For example, when you're talking about ages and periods of life, If you're talking about an age, how old are you when you're 6, when you're 8, when you're 21? So you will use the word when. So I graduated when I was 21. So we are talking about an age. Therefore, you will use the word when. What about periods of life? So periods of life relate to youth or your childhood. Or you could say something like, when I was young, I used to walk every day. Or you could say, I used to walk every day when I was young, because we're talking about a period of your life that relates to your youth. How about me making a sentence when you're a child? When I was a child, I used to eat a lot of chocolate. So you're talking again about a period of your life, okay? Now, the third instance or the third time when you can use the word when is when you are asking a question to know or to get the answer as far as time is concerned. So if your question will give you an answer about a time, that's when you will use when. So we have a sentence that says, when do we leave from here? Maybe we leave at 9 o'clock. Or when does the party start? It starts about in an hour. Okay, so that's another way you will use the word when. So these are the major differences between using the word while or the word when in a sentence. Okay, but what happens when you have a continuous action and a single action in the same sentence? Would you use the word while or would you use the word when? Well, that's a tricky one. I'm going to show you very soon what and how you will, get your sentence structure to put both these words when you have a single action and a continuous action. Okay, so I've got 2 new sentences for you, which have both the single and the continuous action. Now, the first sentence says, he got into a fight while we were shopping. Now, do you think we should only use the while here, or could we also use the when? Let me tell you, the standard rule that you need to apply is that when you have a single action that comes before a continuous action, then both these words can be used. Which means that if I were to say, he got into a fight when we were shopping, that would be absolutely right. So when you have a single action followed by a continuous action, there is no problem with using either of these words. So if you said, he got into a fight while we were shopping, or if you said, he got into a fight when we were shopping, that is absolutely right. Okay? So in these kind of sentences, you can use both these words interchangeably. But you have a sentence if you turn it around. So say, for example, if we turn around this sentence and put the continuous action before the single action, what do you get? What word do you use? So if we turn around the sentence and said, we were shopping, so it is a continuous action, we're still doing it, right? So we were shopping, and the following action is a single action, right? He got into a fight. It is an action already done. He's got into a fight. He's fought already. So if we have a continuous action which is then followed by a single action, then you can only use the word when. I mean, imagine if you use the word while, it wouldn't really make sense. So if you said, we were shopping while he got into a fight, that's not correct. You just say, we were shopping when he got into a fight. Okay, so these are sentences which have both actions, but now you know that you can use either of these two words when you have a single action followed by the continuous one, but you can only use the word when you have a continuous action followed by the single action. Okay, so I would encourage you to make your own sentences with only the while or only the when, and then try to make these kind of sentences which have both these words. I can guarantee you that if you put these sentences and practice them every day, you are going to really improve when it comes to your learning English and speaking it. That's it from me on this lesson. I will be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying goodbye.